Michael sucked in a breath, and Kathy came out of her seat. What? Yes. They weren't together in the picture, but they were at the same party. Miller had hair covering that hideous tattoo on the back of his head, so he looked different, but I'd know that face anywhere. Blue looked at Clement. "Hold on here," she said. "You all clearly know who Leonard Miller is, but you need to clue us in." "I remember who he is," Darren Clement said. Kathy started to answer, but couldn't. At the flood of memory, she felt that tear-surge pressure in her nose, her eyes, and she didn't want to cry in front of these people. She bit her lip and let Michael answer. "Leonard Miller murdered my brother." His voice shook. Joe was a cop in the Major Crimes Unit for the Panama City Police Department. I worked there too, and he was working on a drug trafficking ring. They had a sting operation scheduled, and when Joe's team went to make the bust, Leonard Miller shot him. Clement nodded. We considered taking that case, but it wasn't clearly a case that crossed state lines, and the PCPD really wanted to take him down for murder one, cop killer and all. Yeah, only they didn't. He got acquitted. That jogged Blue's memory. Oh, right, because of the cop who lied on the stand. Michael slapped his chest. That would be me. The memories sent a tremor through Kathy's body, and she found her voice. Michael didn't lie. He had an affidavit by a woman who clearly had dementia, and she claimed she saw someone else shoot Joe, but all the other witnesses saw Miller do it. I just forgot about her affidavit and didn't think to give it to the detectives working the case. She wasn't a credible witness. Right. So they claimed you suppressed evidence, Blue said. And the bad cop narrative turned the jury. Miller got off scot-free. Michael swallowed hard. So you're telling us that Miller is involved in all this? It was too much. Kathy couldn't process it. And you're saying Bob was involved with Miller? Juliet couldn't hold her tears back. I don't know if he was involved with him. They were just in the same room. Bob may not have noticed him. It could be a coincidence. She pulled out her phone and showed them the pictures she'd taken. As they all studied them, Juliet wiped her tears. I feel like I'm in an episode of The Twilight Zone. Like Bob isn't really Bob. He's some person I don't know. She reached out to take Kathy's hand. Honey, I'm so sorry to tell you this. Kathy's mind still raced to make the right connections. Then let me get this straight, she said, a little breathless. Could Bob have been involved in all this as far back as Joe's death? If he was... Her voice faded off. Juliet stared up at her. Maybe. Maybe he just found out after it happened. I can't believe he was involved in Joe's death in any way. Kathy shook her head. But he did all this other stuff. Had a secret life, secret bank accounts, a secret family. If Bob was involved with Miller, and Joe was getting close to bringing them all down, Bob's whole secret world was at risk. Juliet sucked in a sob and wilted, covering her face. I know. But he wouldn't. He couldn't be connected to that. At the very least, he probably knew where Miller was all that time, Michael said in a low voice. Kathy looked at him and saw the stiffness in the set of his chin, the suppressed anger in his eyes. He knew Miller was still tangled up in crimes that could have gotten him sent away for years. He knew I was looking for Miller, hoping to nail him for something else, anything that would get him put away so he'd finally face justice. If Bob knew where he was and kept it quiet, he must have been connected to Miller. Michael turned to the agents. How far back do you think Bob's drug activities go? Clement spoke now. One of the dummy corporations Bob used for laundering money was set up 3 years ago. Kathy felt the blood draining from her face. The question is, Blue said, what does all this tell us about why Bob was murdered?